Hey guys, welcome to my channel and welcome to Palo Alto, California. Today we're going to talk about a very popular word among every English language speaker, be it a student or a native speaker, and that's the word no. I know a lot of you guys use it all the time, I use it all the time, but there are situations in our daily lives that are kinda inappropriate for just a no. Imagine something like you're going out, you're grabbing coffee, and then in the line to get a coffee, you're meeting your neighbor. And the neighbor is like, do you want to take a walk back home with me together? And you're like, no. That sounds a little unfriendly. I would be really sad if I offered someone to take a stroll with me and the other person be like, no. So there are some ways that you can say the same kind of thing. You can say that you can take a walk or whatever, but you can use milder phrases that wouldn't offend other people, that will be just more appropriate for certain situations. And we're gonna learn those phrases today. One of the most polite ways to say no is to say, I am afraid not. So again, let's go back to the situation where I'm grabbing coffee and I'm seeing my neighbor, and the neighbor says, do you want to go back home with me together? And I say, I'm afraid not. I still have something to do in downtown. So this way, I am still refusing, but I'm doing it in a more polite way. So I think the most polite way to say no is to say, I am afraid not.
I am afraid not.
The next phrase is not really. And the appropriate situation to use not really is when you talk about liking or not liking something. So for example, do you want to grab a pizza with me? Not really. I'm trying to stay away from gluten for the next 30 days. This is such a common answer here in California. Everyone is trying to stay away from gluten or dairy or sugar, which is healthy, but I just see this huge trend, and sometimes you just want to grab pizza and drink Coca-Cola with somebody, and a lot of people just don't do it very often, so you're kind of stuck to healthy food, which is again great. So do you want to grab pizza with me? No, not really. I'm staying away from gluten for the next 30 days, but we could grab sushi together. Not really. And the next phrase sounds like probably not or possibly not. And here, I want you to pay attention to the way I'm saying it. So we tend to read it probably, which is, again, the right way to say it. But when Americans talk to each other in daily lives, they tend to speak faster. So they're kind of omitting some sounds and they say probably. Probably not. Probably not. Try to say it with me. Probably not. Or if you're struggling with pronouncing this, you can say possibly not. You use this phrase when you are uncertain. So you think you can do something, but there's still some possibility that you might. For example, do you think you're gonna win this contest? Probably not. My opponents are so strong. Or possibly not, because I haven't prepared for it.
Probably not.
The next phrase is not to my knowledge. And not to my knowledge is a very formal phrase that is widely used in a business environment. For example, you come into an office and you were waiting for a package and you're asking the receptionist, have you received this package from London? And she's like, not to my knowledge, because I was away yesterday. So this not to my knowledge, I see it all the time in formal emails. This is a phrase that is used when people don't want to mislead you and at the same time they want to be helpful. So they're like, not to my knowledge, but you can ask Peter, John, or whoever.
Not to my knowledge.
Now, in the second part of this video, we're gonna start talking about informal ways of saying no, but there's just something I wanted to remind you about this Western culture where a lot of people don't just say no. They try to use those phrases that we're learning. They try to leave the door open, and this is something that I'm seeing a lot in Silicon Valley. For example, when we try to raise money in Russia, people would just say, no, your company is bad, we don't like it. Here in Silicon Valley, they said, your company is amazing, we love what you do, but we're afraid that we're not able to invest at this time because we have a different investment strategy. And you're like, they are not ready to invest at this time. That means I can come back later, like in 2 months, and then you come back later and you still hear this no. So here, people don't say no directly, but they say in a more polite way so they don't offend you. And again, because they want to leave the door open. Because what happens here in Silicon Valley is that sometimes your first company is not the best one, but then in a couple of years you come up with an amazing idea and those investors still want to have a good relationship with you. And this applies to everything. This applies to networking. This applies to talking to friends. So you always want to leave the door open. You don't want to be in the business environment. You don't want to be like 100% no, go away, you're bad. So, and this is why we're learning those phrases. But when you're talking to a good friend and you don't really care because you're still gonna be friends even if you say no to something, then there are some other phrases that you can use instead of saying no. And phrase number one is certainly not. And this is a very strong no. So for example, some people are asking me, do you want to go back to San Francisco? And I'm like, certainly not. I enjoy living in a countryside, Palo Alto, no. I enjoy living closer to nature so much, so certainly not. I'm not going back to San Francisco in the next couple months just because I like my new lifestyle.
Certainly not.
When you can't believe that someone is serious about asking something, you can say, you must be joking. So for example, imagine a situation. We're looking at a house and we like it, and then we ask the real estate agent, how much is it? And the real estate agent says, it's $11,000 a month. Do you want to rent it? My answer would be, you must be joking. $11,000 a month. And by the way, this is like the average rent here in the area where we are right now. I know this is crazy, but yeah, my answer would be, you must be joking. I won't be able to pay that much a month to rent an apartment.
You must be joking.
By the way, guys, before I move on to the next phrase, I have a question for you. I'm doing this kind of small research. So I know you probably watch a lot of other English language YouTubers who teach you English. Can you just tell me down in comments below why you watch my channel, what makes it special, so I could double down on it? For example, if you tell me like, oh Marina, I like how you talk about, you know, living in the US, then I would double down on that. Or I just like generally the topics of your videos, I would double down on that. Or maybe you just like that I'm foreign as well and I am a English language learner and I'm originally from Russia and you just like that. Just write that down in comments below. That would be really, really useful, guys. I appreciate it. I appreciate your help. And this is a great way for you to practice English. So really looking forward to reading your comments down below. Why are you watching this channel? Another phrase that people use here when they really want to say no, like 120% no. For example, the situation is, do you want to go to the movie theater tonight? There is no way I'm going to a movie theater tonight because I'm just afraid of this virus. No way I'm going out in the public. So I would translate this as 120% no.
No way.
And I wanted to wrap up with some casual ways to say no. So for example, in a restaurant, you know, in the US, they serve free water all the time. And when you've had enough water and the server comes with water and says, do you want more water? And you can say, no, I'm good. That means that's enough. Or you can just say, I'm good. And the waiter would understand that you don't want any more water.
I'm good.
You can also say, not right now. That means, again, maybe you would be willing to do something later. Do you want to go for a walk? Not right now. I'm recording a video.
Not right now.
Nah, not really. Again, another way to say no. Do you want to get a new book? Nah, I still have to read 20 books that I was meant to read last month.
Nah.
Yep. Nope. Yep. Nope. I heard that song back in 2015 and I knew it's gonna be a hit, and then it became a hit through TikTok. That's amazing.
Yep. Nope.
And a very strong way to say no is to say never. Do you think you're gonna go back to Jack? Never. Never again.
Never.
That was it from me, guys, for today. Thank you so much for watching this video up to the very end. If you want to learn more English with me, please make sure to check english.online. That's my handbook for every English language student that has a lot of material on vocabulary, on different ways of saying different phrases, grammar, a lot of practice, a list of bloggers that you can follow, list of TV shows that you can watch to improve your English. The link is down below, english.online. Thank you guys so much. Subscribe to this channel if you're not yet subscribed, and I will see you very soon in my next videos. Bye.